Welcome back to your kicks.
Yeah, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Black Trey from Your Music, Your Network, bringing you another one, man. So you already know what it is, New Music Friday. And what do I see? Lo and behold, I see a new Common album. I'm like, I gotta start doing my research and my due diligence, because it's just like, honestly, I didn't even know this was coming out. So I'm gonna do a better job of figuring out what's coming out, because I think we had some notice that this was actually coming out. But okay, so he put out A Beautiful Revolution Part 2. So I was like, I'm not gonna review Part 2 without going through Part 1. And Part 1 just came out last year. So I really don't know how I missed it, because one of my favorite hip hop albums of all time was Common B. 10 tracks, classic to me, you know what I mean? It's in my top 10 of albums. Many people may not agree, you feel what I'm saying? But it's definitely up there. It's real heartfelt, you know what I mean? I think he put like his heart and soul in that joint. So when it comes to common projects, you feel what I'm saying? I really like take my time when I'm going through it. So, you feel what I'm saying? We sat down, we listened to the whole project 1 and 2 back to back. You feel what I'm saying? I'm making my notes, I'm figuring out like what I think. And you know what I mean? We here to go through it and let you guys know what we thought, man. So without further ado, make sure you guys hit that like, make sure you comment, you feel what I'm saying? Especially if you checked out the album before, and then subscribe. You know what I mean? We trying to grow out here. Holla at me. All right, so starting it off, we got A Beautiful Revolution intro. Here, who is Jessica Care Moore? You know what I mean? Spoken word type of joint. I was like, all right, you know what I mean? A lot of Black history, a lot of uplifting things. I was like, all right, let me hear what's going, because you already know Common, he's like a revolutionary type anyway, so he speaks on a lot of controversial things. I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? I could deal with this, because, you know, in this day and age with everything going on, you know, not a lot of people are able to speak free. So, you know, I respect like thought like this. So, you know what I mean? I really like when people can speak their mind and, you know, not be criticized for it. So I'm always going to show love in that regard. So that's what it is. Starting it off, he had Falling with PJ. Now, I wasn't really familiar with this singer, but she's actually really dope. This right here, the beat was super dope. Verses was tight. It was actually fire. I was like, yo, this is Common that I'm known for, man. He really does this, man. He's talking about handling the pandemic. Yeah, he was talking about the stuff that we dealing with, and how Black people really don't trust the government in terms of taking this vaccine that they trying to push on everybody. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not getting into it. It is what it is. But, you know what I mean? The government has never really given us a reason to trust them. And now all of a sudden they're just like, yo, do what we say. And it's like just like whatever. But Verses was dope. Beat was fire. The hook, amazing. I was just like, yo, who is this singer? Like, she's dope. Next thing came up when I see the name Black Thought and the singer. So I'm like, all right, I like how she represented on the first track, but I see Black Thought and the bells immediately go off. Black Thought is my number 2 MC of all time. He's on my list, automatic. He's up there because he can spit. You feel what I'm saying? And to me, he has like, out of everybody who does features, when he goes on somebody else's feature, it's insane, because he just brings out his best work all the time. So he doesn't disappoint. So this goes on. You see, of course, Black Thought goes off. Even Common, he was spitting. Like, on this one, he wasn't really, I don't think he kept up with Black Thought, because Black Thought just went to a whole nother Super Saiyan level. He was not playing. And Common, he was spitting. But this track, definitely go check it out. Say Peace. Fire, bro. Love that. All right, so what do you say? Move It Baby. It's like a disco style. PJ again on the hook. She's on like 90% of this album. So I was just like, yo, okay, you know, I mean, it must be his people or something like that. Yeah, the hook is serious, super serious. I don't know how I missed this album. Common went off on this like OD. And it's right after Say Peace. So I'm like, if he recorded it after, because he placed it after, I could see why he decided to like really go. Because Common, he can spit. He definitely, his multis, his metaphors, his similes, just everything he does. Like, he's a very talented artist, man. Very, he's. I would really have to go through my list and see where I rank him, because I don't know if he's in my top 10, but he has a top 10 album for me. So I think that's good enough. So I'm not even going to go through that. Courageous, featuring Stevie Wonder. Now this was like an uplifting joint. The hook was fire. I think the Stevie Wonder part was like a harmonica piece at the end, which was like pretty dope. So I think they built the beat around that. You know what I mean? That joint was completely fire. Common's verses, you know what I mean? He didn't disappoint, man. He was going off, and I'm just like, yo, 5 tracks deep. You know what I mean? The way it's looking, I'm like, if he continues, because I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At this point, I'm like, all these songs like I really like, so I'm giving them 5 stars up to this point. So I'm like, the only album that Common had that I liked that I gave 5 stars like that was the B album. So I'm like, this has potential. So now my spider senses is going. So I'm listening now with intent. So now I'm gonna be more critical of the songs at this point, because I'm like, yo, you're competing for my top list. So I was like, okay, all right. So next was A Place in the World. This joint was like a letter to the politicians showing love to black people. This is probably like the weakest track on it. I would give it like 4 stars. He still spit, he still went off, but you know what I mean, it wasn't as, it was just like lacking like a tiny bit in comparison to the other joints. But it was still a fire song, don't get me wrong. Then A Riot in My Mind came on, Lenny Kravitz. Had the guitar sample in the beginning. So, well, actually it wasn't even a sample. I think he was just playing the guitar in the beginning. Then like Common came in, went off, and then he had Lenny Kravitz like singing in the back. I was like, yo. And I think it was Chuck D like on the hook and you know what I mean, like not the hook though, on the beat, like setting everything up. So this was like a classic collab right there. And then Don't Forget Who You Are featuring PJ. I like this. Ultimate self-confidence song. Common, he got a gift for just making you feel good about yourself. Like he got these verses, you just be like, yo, whoever he's talking to, like if he wrote this song for you, yeah, your confidence is gonna be at an all-time like 1,000. You feel what I'm saying? It is what it is. And then he finished it off with the more spoken word. It says A Beautiful Revolution outro, featuring Morgan Park. The spoken word had like a lot of like innuendos and references to like black culture and stuff like that, and the black culture is written all through this album. You feel what I'm saying? It was really dope. So for this, just with the one track, I think it was A Place in the World, I would have to like let it rock a little bit, because Common B album, I let it play every couple of weeks. I'll throw it on. You feel what I'm saying? But with this, like I was highly impressed going through the whole thing. And like it didn't let me down at all. So with this album, I'm definitely giving it, and I'll give it a straight A for this album. You feel what I'm saying? Common B, I have it as an A+. So right now, it depends if it stands the test of time. If A Place in the World starts to sit better with me, then I can move it up. But at the clear moment, you feel what I'm saying? Just that little slight, because if it's gonna be classic, it has to be classic. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what it is. All right, so moving on to part 2. He did it again. So they start off with more spoken word. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna spend too much time on that. Then he went for a more up-tempo type style on this. You know what I mean? Which if it's in tandem, part 1 was like a little bit slower, more melodic, more instruments. Part 2, it had the instruments, but it was like more dance-ish, more melodic, but like at an up-tempo style, which I really did enjoy. Like it took me out of the element of the first one. So like when I listen to it, I'm gonna try not to listen to them back to back, because they put me in kind of 2 different elements. You feel what I'm saying? But I think it's like a really dope compilation, like when you put them back to back, if you can dig what I'm saying. You feel what I'm saying? But all right, so he started off with Beautiful Chicago Kid, brought PJ back. So last year's album, part 1. Now he got her back. She's not on as many songs on this one though, but it's more tracks. It's 11 tracks on this one. The last one had 9. I like the instrumentals. They sped it up. I wasn't a big fan of her hook on this one though. But Common did go off on this. Pretty dope track. When We Move, featuring Black Thought and Sean Cudi, or I don't know how to pronounce that. Cudi. They like put it up tempo. Common goes off to another level. I was like, yo. And I said, Black Thought ain't even go yet. Once he came on, I was like, Lord, wow. I think I brought it back. I had to bring it back like 2 or 3 times. Go listen to that song. I'm gonna leave it at that. All right. It's crazy, man. So it reminded me of a 20 style jazz, you know, one of them the movies from like the 20s, 30s where they have the casino on the river. You know what I mean? That kind of style. But yeah, go listen to that. That was definitely fire. So Set It Free featuring PJ. This was like, he slowed it down a little bit, had the soulful hook. I really like PJ's voice on this. Common, he had bars, you know what I mean? But it was a pretty decent track. It wasn't like all that. It didn't have me like really like in the zone that the last album had me in. But it was decent. Majestic. This was kind of, I guess, sort of like a shorty track, kinda. More of like a dance. Yeah, I would say it's more of like a dance type of, it's like a Common dance. If you know the type of dance songs that Common makes, yeah, it would be around that esque. And it was actually pretty dope. I give it about a 3 stars though, maybe 4. I'll lean closer to 3 because there was something about it that I may just have to listen to it a few more times because this is one listen, you know what I mean, and I'm gonna give it my review. Poetry, really like this joint. The vibe on this was no joke. It had like a old Negro spiritual kind of vibe on this, but it was really sick. Definitely check that out. Saving Grace with Brittany Howard. Real soulful joint. Common slowed it down. You know what I mean? Has some real lyrics. A lot of black love, black power, all that. And that started a gang. PJ came off. She did like more of like a hip hop type. She did like more of like a spitting style hook, like a hook that like a rapper / singer would do. Like it was more in that esque. It felt less singing and more like talking, rapping kind of style. I really liked it though. Common, she carried it with her hook. I didn't really feel Common's verses on this too much, but I really liked her hooks on that. Imagine. Now, controversial, I know what people gonna say, but this reminded me of the Lauryn Hill and Nas, If I Rule the World. And Lauryn Hill's my favorite. She is not Lauryn Hill. I'm not saying that. Don't think that. You know what I mean? Don't curse me out. I know that. Lauryn Hill is my favorite female MC. Anybody that knows me knows that. But it gave me that vibe. You know what I mean? Really dope. And they got a music video for it. Check it out. You know what I mean? They're showing a lot of love to black businesses, black people, just black in general, man. Common, he does that. And then what we have after that, Get It Right with Raphael Sadiq. Hook on this is fire, real 90s style. This reminded me of like a 90s like R&B song. Raphael Sadiq, he's on it. So, you know what I mean? He's just doing his classic style. It's really dope, man. So, and then they finish it off with you know, more spoken word. Now, this album, it had a few joints that I was like, you know what? Not that I could do without, because I like the whole theme of this whole project and the way he was going with it. But there was just a certain few that I was just like, all right, probably would have to grow on me. So with this album, I would probably go with part 2. I'm probably gonna do an A-. You know what I mean? Because like he really followed up with a really strong project. He really came through, and the tracks that was dope were really dope. And just for having that Black Thought feature and how dope that track was, you feel what I'm saying? I'm giving that really like boosted high. It's automatic just based off of that, because it was like super fire. You feel what I'm saying? So that's my thoughts on it. Really dope album, man. Go check out both of them. Yo, just put it on a playlist and play them through, man. If you're a Common fan, this is something that you really need to hear. You know what I'm saying? So holla at me, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. We got a lot of things coming out on the channel, man. A lot of good music dropped this week. So, you know what I mean? We're going to be putting out a lot of stuff, man. Holla at your boy. Like, comment, subscribe. Your boy Black Trey. Shout out to my son. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man.
In some of his videos, he only shows his face, and in some of his videos, he only shows his shoes.